Good morning once more. We would like to welcome you to this segment of our show today. It is our discussion segment when we'll start talking with you, and you may be wondering what is up today. We are still celebrating. It is still Christmas, so everything you're going to hear from here is Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. Welcome. My name is Sijama Uche, and I have gentlemen that have joined us, David and I, to look at the topic of today. They are Dr. Dennis Ekemeze, is a public affairs analyst. Dr. Ekemeze, you're welcome.
Yeah. Good morning, viewers, Apokwasile and Uche, and God bless all of us.
Amen. Okay, thank you. And we also have Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Ajako. Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Ajako is of the Chapel of Redemption, Unizik, Oka. I'd like to welcome you to
Thank you.
Studios, Doc.
Thank you so much. Viewers, good morning. Merry Christmas.
Hope I got your name right.
Yes.
Okay.
You did.
Thank you. Okay, you're now welcome. What I'm going to look at, showing love at Christmas. And one may ask, is it only at Christmas that you show love? Is it not an everyday thing? Show love, show love, show love. Why is that of the Christmas very special? Don't forget that I still have Dave with me. But we're going to start with the Reverend gentleman to tell us exactly what it means to show love at Christmas. Doc?
Yeah, you've said it all, that it's not only Christmas that you show love, but one cardinal thing about Christmas is that it's a season of love, the expression of love of God in the person of Christ. So what it means to show love at Christmas is, first of all, be willing enough to share what you have with people, willing enough to share what you have, think good thoughts, and act good deeds, express good actions. And so what it cuts across bringing what you have to share to people. Of course, you know that Christmas is a day of people who do a lot of shopping, and so you don't do a lot of shopping just to eat it on your own. So what it means to show love at Christmas, it's a bit of sharing what you have, thinking good thoughts with your friends and your neighbors and your enemies, then praying for the good of others and for their nation. And also not forgetting the less privileged, like the orphanages, homes, and those that are in IDP camps.
IDP camps. Yeah, Dr. Kemeze, we are coming to you. Why must you show love, especially during Christmas period?
Thank you. Simply said, you ought to show love. Because even from biblical point of view, for God so loved the world, He gave us His only begotten Son. Maybe, I don't know. And the begotten Son was, the Christendom agreed that the period of Christmas is the time you celebrate that love God has given to mankind. And then, narrow it down to our own environment, you see, after the farming season, when you come down to the dry season after the harvest, is the period when people sit down to relax and enjoy the bumper harvest they have collected from their farms. And then the more period of enjoyment, relaxation, and all what's not. Because at that time, within our environment, the weather is clement. And you see the way God planted it, showing that love, imparting on humanity. And then from humanity angle, just like as the priest said, the church almost has taken over our environment. Very few, even Christmas, when I was in Abuja, and the way they decorated one of the supermarkets owned by a Muslim, I went to him and said, Elijah, why? He said, you are not a Christian and you decorated your... He said, yes, I enjoy it. I have customers who are Christians. And it makes me feel happy to show them that love, that we are one, we are together, we are Nigerians. And your faith may be different, my own may be different, but we have to come together, what the Christianity calls ecumenism, to enjoy ourselves as Nigerians. And as you ask the question, why this time? It's the time God has manifested Himself in humanity's sake, and then for us to see that Emmanuel. And from indices on material aspect of it, the bumper harvest you have, either from the hearth, from your farm, from your businesses, from the collections you have done, should be going round. Now it's down to Anambra State. Governor started to show love to workers. I'm coming. Allow me to analyze. To show love to the people, to the workers, to the traditional rulers and everybody. And from my analysis and my research, everybody in Anambra State has something to eat, to shoe, the money, live allowance, and everything. Now, if you go around too, you see communities, churches, faith-based organizations going to various Boris Babies home, prisons, which I was part of it as a Rotarian, showing that love, what you have for others to get, so that they'll be able to praise God who has given you that opportunity to serve mankind.
All right, Reverend Dr. Ajako, we normally say that showing love is about giving. Does it only end at that? You mentioned like sharing good thoughts with people around you, including your enemies. But it seems our definition of charity or love is by giving alone. Is it restricted to that?
Well, no, but the essence of love is it must come with giving. The scriptural verse, John 3:16 said, "For God so loved the world that He gave." Okay. So for you to say that you've loved, it must cost you something. So that is why the kind of God is agape, the agape love, which is sacrificial, without expecting anything in return. So if love entails giving, it goes a long way to show that what we've received is not ours. Rather, God has given it to us so that we can be able to give or share with people. And having said that, if you can give, if God can give the Holy Son, what would He restrict from giving us? Romans 8:32 says that He who has given His only Son, how wouldn't He much more give us all that we ever asked of Him? So when you say that God, when you say that love, it just entails only giving. It's giving and giving and giving and giving.
But I'd like to find out. He said that God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. He gave Him because He has Him. What if I have nothing to give you? Won't I still love you?
Oh, there are so many things you have to share, please.
Like what and what? Apart from the tangible things that should be given.
Now, for instance, if you don't have anything to share with the less privileged, you can be a volunteer in orphanage homes to go and wash their clothes. I do that. You go and wash their clothes, sweep their compounds. And when I go there, I also see barristers that enter the gutters to sweep. I like faith orphanage that I normally go, and the one that is there will leave at the estate. We see that people, if it's not only money that you give, you can volunteer for services, and you can also be in your war room, what people call now war room, to pray for the good of others. So it is not only, there's something that God has given you to share.
There is something that God has given you to share. Dr. Kemezie, what do you expect me to share when I don't have anything to give, apart from offering services like the Reverend said? So, if I show you love and I have not given you anything, does that love stand?
Yes.
Uche, or it's not complete?
Yeah. Sorry I cut you in quickly because you have a lot of things to give to me. Your smile. Your smile.
No, she's already
your kindness.
Okay.
And in fact, love is empathic.
Yeah.
If you move from love angle, you go into hate, dislike. And when you move into love angle, you see the empathy communicating. And you must know that love is communication. You have to communicate. You have to show it. And that's what God did, to communicate to His Son. And the Son also obediently agreed with His Father to come down and be with us, so that Emmanuel will be manifested and communicated to the world. And He was the first person that showed it. I love you, humanity. I am going to die for you, and I died for you, and you have that salvation. Now, on your own side, every morning I see you, you give me love, you show me your smiling face, just sort of some of them here will just, please communicate, you are bringing your love to me. So you have a lot. I told one woman one day, yes, you said that you are poor, but you have Ako, you have Okwa, you have Joko, you have Unele. Why not give it to the rich man who gives you something? You may think that he will not value it. I value it. Even when one woman, a basket of $1. Wow, I cherished it. It motivated me to do more. So whatever you have, it could be Ako.
We are coming.
You could, just like he said, you could come to my compound. I may not be around, but I will come and clean your compound so that you come back for Christmas. Is it not showing love? Is it not communicating? It's not at times that material services you give that matters.
But sometimes it's difficult to get that kind of services now because whatever they want to give you, whatever somebody is giving you here, especially this period of materialism, the person is expecting something in return. I understand what you're saying. I know in those days, before we come back for Christmas,
but you know, love is
have gone into
expectation.
a compound, clear a weed, do everything and clear. Of course, you know you're going to give them something. If you come back,
that's what I'm saying.
So, and even if a reverend who those things without expecting anything in return. Okay, so expect anything in return doesn't mean that love does not work.
Let me ask you this question: is it practical? Is it reality? You give without expecting. There are you expect. It's just in one way.
Because
in one way or the other. Let's be realistic, brethren. Let's be realistic. We can say it as a theory. If you give and give and give, you see, and some of us, when we are, you say, I'm sorry, forget about the theory. We are able to get it.
We'd like to inform
we're able to situate it.
To start interacting with us now. Okay, the lines are your phone screen. You choose anyone you like, make your calls, and then contribute to what we're discussing this morning. Showing love at Christmas. That's exactly what we're looking at this morning. Start talking, like I said earlier, what have you received? What have you given? These are the things we're going to look at now in this program, because as you are showing love, as you are being shown love, you are expected to show love back. Oh, even though expect something in return. I'm more obtainable this side of the world.
Okay. Probably Reverend will answer that question because he was holding a different view to what Doc is saying. You're saying that is it possible to give without expecting something in return?
He didn't allow me to finish so that you understand me. Yes.
Dr. K, okay. It is a kind of a relay race. You give to influence other people to give, and not necessarily to you. Because the word of God says somewhere, if you do good to those who do good to you, what is the difference between you and the Pharisees? You've not done anything.
Is that, can't we say that's an expectation, the result you wanted to produce?
There will be a multiplier effect.
And that's where I'm going.
There will be a multiplier effect. If I give to you now and say, okay, I give you an example. Where we work in Paul University, a director came in one day and called us in his office, Professor Kwaka, and on his table he displayed iron, flags, so many commodities, new ones, and started calling our names one by one.
All right, let's take this call. Hello. Okay, go on.
Started calling our names one by one. I said, if you call, you pick one. If you call, you pick one. And I appreciated it, and I came home. I told my wife, Mommy, please go around this house. Whatever that you don't have not used for the last 2 years, for the last year, and it's still new, please bring it out and share to our neighbors. It should be what happened, the multiplier effect. So I'm not necessarily that I will go back to the director and say, please, Prof.
Because you have given me this other one. No. Let's see, people are joining us seriously. But I know that, is anybody here?
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Yeah, this is Eluchukwu coming from me.
Okay, Eluchukwu, you're welcome.
Yes, I want to. Hello?
Yes, go on.
Yeah, I want to speak on what the other man is saying, but I don't know his name actually. But there is never a giving without expectation.
Dr. Dennis Ekemeze.
Hello?
Dr. Dennis Ekemeze is the name.
Yes, because if God himself expects something from us when he gave us his son, because we are created to give him pleasure. So that is an expectation. So that's what I want to that is what I want to check in. Even God himself gives us with expectation, expecting us to give ourselves, because he first loved us so that we can also love him back. So that's what I want to check in. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So,
I'm still holding. I still want to talk.
Okay. But I'm talking about giving.
The multiplier effect is what I'm more concerned with, because remember that God loved us when we were most unlovable. And nobody pleaded for God to love us. It is his initiative to love, and he gave. Now, there will be a multiplier effect of that giving, that you will come to realization of loving him and knowing him. Okay. It's not because God wants you to give back your son. No. The multiplier effect of that giving is that you come to full knowledge.
Even when he asked Abraham to give him back. But that's something I want to say. I know that we're looking at giving.
Did he actually give him back?
I know you will get me there.
Let me just this thing so that I will be relieved.
Okay, the giving that Father Christmas gave, that's what I wanted to bring out. Was he expecting anything? We just go to see Father Christmas and he drops, okay, for now you go to see him. Those days he drops gift on your doorsteps without even you knowing that somebody has dropped gifts. Okay, talking about Father Christmas. Is there any way we can do that kind of giving now? I just wake up in the morning and there are
anonymous
gifts, you know, that kind of thing on my doorstep, and I start shouting. There's no name on them.
You are not being realistic.
Okay.
You are not being realistic. And let me finish what I have in mind. God, when you are giving, he mentioned it and the man called mentioned it. There is an expectation. You may not do it on seeing it on material angle, but you expect that when you give, you are doing it for God, and God will.
1 second, please. Yeah, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Akweze.
I'm
calling from Akweze.
Okay, fine, from Akweze. Go ahead.
Please, I would like to speak English.
Okay, Daniel.
Gentleman in the city making on your own. When it's already level.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah,
Daniel.
Go ahead. Hold on, if you need.
Let's find already over. Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm working in the Libya on time. I want to help them, money to go over you. When you're in a return, you're your mom will marry and judge them or Bolonia,
mba ọ bụrụ ọlịa njọ nke a jidelu ma ndị Igbo na-ekwu bụ na that onye ọbụla bulite ibu n'anya ibie ọ bụ na onye gị ife o mekwa mgbe nke return kwa but assuming na ọ bụ na o merọ na onwere opportunity inwe in order to pay that back o kwesịrị inwe multiplier effect ife onye a melụ gị imekwali onye ọzọ. So you need pay forward, what I call pay forward. That now he appreciate him when involvement because one of we is equivalent of what he has given.
Yes, he's expecting a relationship.
Let me conclude.
Okay.
Yes,
okay,
because it's important for us to conclude.
Thank you very
when
much.
you give, if I give something to David,
as you conclude, you know, we invited. We invited
you take it from me and say thank you. You will give me something.
Okay,
and then what you are giving to me will give me joy and happiness.
Yeah, hello.
And that's the point.
Hello. Hello.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Good
Hello.
morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ganir.
Good morning.
If you don't turn down the volume of your TV set, that's the kind of thing that you see, okay? You talk and you hear yourself talk, or talk and we'll hear ourselves talk. Please, Turn it down before you call. Okay, we are moving on. Remember, we're still looking at giving at Christmas. I will say, we both talk about if you engage them.
And the okay, engage them.
If okay, if you
engage them for work. And I don't even
I don't
yes. Yes, everybody they encourage. Generated happiness na governor no nyendo all we fa na enwa angle.
Good, ndị ụlọ nkwu ife we kisi na 2 cups or 3 cups.
But the player, you are talking of multiplier effect. Yes, it goes round. It goes round. Emphatically, that's why I said love is empathic.
Okay. All right.
Somebody's here.
And that's even systematic.
Okay. Hello, good morning. Yes.
Hello,
good morning. We can hear you. Talk to us.
good morning.
Good
morning.
Get that five because maybe step by.
I'm calling from Oka.
Okay.
Get off again.
I'm an altar father from the Catholic Church.
What is your name? Get that faggy.
I want the Reverend Father. The Reverend Father.
You have not told us your name. We asked of your name. What is your name?
Because
okay, you may need to, stand by and then go by instructions. When you call us, introduce yourself, tell us your name and where you're calling us. That's all we need. Forget about other introductions. Okay, we are still going on. We are still moving on. And then, I've not committed any offense, so because now that is the or if I find whoever you see your email expect anything in return. You go mana then is so we fit in your level. It's no one that I feel now question.
Yes.
To the same person or to any other person.
To the person or any other person. Yes. Get it. If we could start on a courier or the clear. Onye nyanya. You are thinking of material things. When we can phone no man. Can you ask him? Dalo, thank you. You've paid me back.
Oh, if I can go with me by your
tell me I'm coming. You must show that love by saying thank you.
Let's welcome this person. Hello, good morning.
And that thank you matters.
Good morning, Ototo Manne. Welcome.
Dalo, can I fucking be Amaka from where? Can I be said why?
From name.
Or the man, what's in your no? Just briefly.
Okay. You think you will get out? I know when I do no mother and wishes, but now maybe there. The way I come with you, you don't go near Bunyana. Now, you said me too, Name Italia.
We didn't get your question clearly. Do what I got to add you also.
Okay. If you do, then not everyone wants Christmas. When I say, then I will about Christmas. The second you me.
Okay.
Thank you. I've heard you.
Just say, if they can, I know not get. In Natago, in the
Dennis is insisting. No one at I figure. Before
you have to communicate.
Some of them had tobacco for 1 year and on long. Especially down with go on Arabia go back. So you could tell it in Chitalia.
Except politicians, none of them campaign.
My hair, except my campaign or their tower, Kaibana, Roca. You ought to go more to the Kita will go dollar. $2 to Pocaniana was a man. Total it's in Chitalia, Manachitagi Liqua.
That's another angle to it. That's another angle to it. Because even within the family, who is an PBA fail? If I got to say, I move from house to house, but I couldn't rice.
Can't get was a wipe.
I don't know when you go by boss. But I get Christmas now.
This part of the discussion is very important because at times now you can be in your house for complete 2 days without seeing. Those days, before I go 3 hours, 3 groups of children. I go. There I see we go.
Introduction.
Introduction. And it seems that culture has died. How do we incorporate that when we are talking about showing love at Christmas? How do we bring back that love that existed between us
in the past?
That is the danger. I don't know, but there's a danger towards what God intended. And that danger is what the enemy, because the word of God said that a man planted good seeds and while men slept, the enemy came and planted tares. Because giving is living. And giving helps to build relationships. But then the enemy are going with a kind of perverse mind towards giving. Number one, music and one that put a blue moon on your caddy. But they were a matter whatever past mine, know what they on alpha. You know. So nobody wants to then come one natural death. Then music can give on there and I Yonuzo is in Fago. Man, now people are skeptical because that's even in ego.
It will affect your business. You know. So
and was there a kind of fear and panic around giving and receiving?
Very good question. And in manner of the other give and I multiply. But let's see it from the miniature microcosm of the society and the transformation. You find out during Christmas, time. But Christmas, no coach we jidai no kagod. Kedai.
I'm not going to joke.
If you shake her, Enata, Omonna, the meet no monna. Then, for instance, in my town, yesterday, throughout meeting no monna. And then back again with communion. Somebody has to sponsor, even though monna gaily. When you have and you see communion coming in. You see people being happy. And then, collectively, enjoyment comes in.
Even no longer. Even at that point, I can answer when
but the point, majority are communioning, taking what they have in common and then glorifying God. Another day, and we meet Nora, bow for development. The next time, Obolo entertainment. You see it coming in collectively as a society and as a people and as a community and also as a people of God. Because Amozi, okay, in Agualosi, in a Jenka, but we are not doing it as a community. And that's where I'm going.
As a people of God, man, he bogo Okochukwe now.
But when you ask me, I'm and that can't really because one another you guy too much. Because the people are complaining, they may not be able to tell you.
If you want to not in the churches with I pastor. Because
I'm going to have my idea.
They won't tell you 2 hours. I tell you,
they are human beings.
What is 2 hours?
2 hours, they don't do too much. And I say 2
hours to be the presence of God.
But you see it. I'm happy with this.
How many hours can I meet Kijenya?
How many hours in Ghana? Man, I'm moving time. Me, Jenna, with my God.
Okay.
Tell me, I take on football. Oh, we be a good mother. On our Batasikwa. Here in Aguya, on Abatazua, is he attentive?
All the quote to an
Yes,
so church I pastor, once it's 2 hours, you are free to go.
Very good.
And once it's 25 minutes, you are free to go here. So, so because I advise some people on how best to show love at Christmas. Reverend, starts with you.
The first advice I have to give to our people is that they must acknowledge that Jesus is the reason for the season. And if Jesus is the reason for the season, then what Jesus will, if I will borrow KMS's word, will want to expect from us now is for us to live like he lived.
Jesus is the reason for the season.
Yes.
Dr. Kemeze, one word. Let's go.
And Jesus came to serve humanity and sacrificed himself. Everything we do in life must be a sacrifice, so that selflessness will go out of it. And that's why I said love is communication and love is part of empathic situation. Okay. You have to empath.
It includes giving on So you do stand by for the next segment, okay? Thank you very much for coming and celebrating with us today. Dr. Dennis Ekemeze, Public Affairs Analyst, and the Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Ajako from Chapel of Redemption, Unizik, Oka. Thank you very much for coming. Let's now take a break here and come back again.